Okay, so this is going to be me attempting to do a little bit of a tutorial or something about Dwarf Fortress. This is the user interface for the Lazy Noob Pack, which I will put a link to down in the description for the video. Best way I can describe it is it handles all the options in a very, very easy way. Basically, you don't need to touch anything here. It also has the graphics. What I'm going to be using is the Phoebus, I don't know how to pronounce it. This graphic set, you just click on this and install graphics, and it'll do everything for you. Don't even need to do anything after that. Now it's not going to work, of course. There it goes. And then once it's done, it'll say it's all updated. And in here, you have utilities. The main one we're going to be working with is Dwarf Therapist, which is basically a way to set all the jobs and skills that your dwarves have without having to do it in the game. The in-game interface is not the best for that, so this is it's a quality of life thing. It makes everything a lot easier. Other than that, I don't really use any of the other things in here. The only other thing here is various different advanced options. Most of this you can just leave alone. I like to turn the sound on because the game music it's soothing, we'll put it that way. Other than that, just leave everything else where it is. If you ever want to open your saves, you just click that and bring it in. This is the fort I was playing with just to reacquaint myself. I'm going to delete that. We'll close that. And once you have everything set the way you want, one thing I will say is turn this to no. That way you don't have to deal with aquifers your first time. But once you have everything set up the way you want, you just hit play Dwarf Fortress, and it'll bring everything up for you. Right here. Let's make that full screen. There we go. First thing you want to do, obviously, is you create a new world. Just hit enter. There's a lot of loading involved in this. It's a very processor-intensive game. Escape to continue. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory. The size of the world, stick with medium. I mean, large... The bigger the world, the longer it takes to create. I usually set the history to short because it really starts to generate slowly after that. I leave everything else the same. Because I want to make this a fairly simple game, I'm going to set it to frequent minerals. But everything else, like I said, is pretty self-explanatory. Savagery is, well, it gives you a little tip right here anyway. So we'll just hit go. Why? Here it's generating the world. This is the entire world map. You can see there's a big mountain range. Looks like there's a volcano right here. Oh, now we don't get to see it anymore. It's generating the towns and roads and everything, and there's history happening right now. Various different adventurers are wandering around. Forts are being built. Civilizations are being destroyed. Dragons are being hunted down. Things of that nature. You can set this for, I can't even remember what the longest length of time is, but you can see right over here that it's 77 years in, and we have it set to, I believe, 125 years. And, well, basically, once it's finished, it'll show you the world map. You can kind of look over it, and you can either accept it or reject it and start over again. I'm just going to take whatever it gives me, and we'll go from there. I'm actually going to stop recording while it finishes generating. I'll start it back up once we reach the end. Okay, so I may or may not have accidentally closed Dwarf Fortress and had to restart the world, but we got it to work anyway. So here, as you can see, we have a generated world. Looks like we got a lot of islands and stuff. Some glaciers and stuff down here. All sorts of fun stuff. So after you have that, if you like it, you can hit enter and accept it, or A to abort it. I'm going to accept it. And it'll offload all the history of the world and everything into the save file. Takes a little while. Ignore these apparent 800 FPS that I'm getting. That I don't know why it does that. And we're done, I think. Waiting. Waiting. Thinking about it. As I said, this does take a lot of processor power. There we go. Now you can see we have a new option on the start screen. We have start playing. We're going to hit that. Now you can either create an adventure for adventurer mode, which is basically like any other RPG you would think of. You wander around, you murder stuff. There's Legends, which has all the various different historical figures, and if you happen to run into something that you want to look up, you look it up in Legends. We're going to do Dwarf Fortress. Maybe. There we go. Now this is where you choose your location. As you can see, we have a local map, region map, a world map. You can see the X in the world map matches up to where you are in the region map, and right in the local map, that little green square is where your fort would be. You can move that around with the U, M, K, and H keys. See, like that. One thing I like to do is hit F to do a search for a location. You can use the up and down keys to move amongst that menu. Say no aquifer. I'm going to say yes Fluxstone, although that may not turn up very many locations. Excuse me. Let's see what happens. Once you've got the parameters you want, you can set it to have different amounts of rain, different amounts of evil, for if you're looking for a very specific place. The more stuff you put in there, the less likely you are to find it. But let's see what we come up with. The screen will start to fill up with green X's, maybe. Yeah, the red X's are places that don't have a suitable location. The green X's have a suitable location. It looks like this is actually going to be a pretty good world for finding this, although I'm not embarking on that glacier because I'm not crazy. This is going fairly quickly. I'll probably pause it about halfway through because we'll have enough possible spots to jump into. I usually like to find a spot that's not near a river for water and isn't too hilly, because too hilly is a pain in the butt to work with. And I also don't like, being out in deserts and various things like that. You want some trees, things like that. Looks like the whole center of the area there isn't all that useful for us. I'm probably going to go up into the northeast corner there and see what that looks like. 'Cause it looks like that's a pretty good spot there. I should explain, Fluxstone is what you mix with iron in order to make steel. So, alright, it's done. There's all the areas that fit our requirements that we set. Now we hit escape to browse the results, and I'm going to zoom up. I lost my X, there it is. Let's zoom over here, see what it looks like. South of this big huge city here. Let's see here. Let's go near this big river here. Ooh, it's hot here. Let's go a little farther south. Hot isn't necessarily a good thing. It can be a little iffy for your dwarves out in the heat. What's over here? How about near this coast? I lost my X again. There I am. Ooh, this looks like just the kind of spot I'm looking for. You can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I didn't check that before I started, but you can see there's a river running through. It'll always set your square right in the spot that matches your requirements. There's trees, pretty heavily, thickly forested areas. It's temperate area. There's a little river running right through it, a stream, very small. We've got some clay. We've got very deep soil, which will be good for farming once we dig down a little bit. And if you hit tab, you can change over here where it says the Dreamy Jungles, which is the region we're in, you can see we've got dwarves, elves, humans, and goblins all fairly close to us, with dwarves being closest because they're at the top of the list. Goblins have the red dot line next to them, which means we're at war with them. You're always going to be at war with goblins. They will invade eventually and attack, and that's what your military's for. You can see by the relative elevation that it's fairly low elevation, and there's no cliffs. It's very, very flat, which is perfect. So, this looks like a good spot for us to hit E for embark. We'll go right there. Oh, area with salt water. Why is there salt water? There shouldn't be salt water. That's a river. Hell with it. Now, you have to select your gear and stuff and your starting skills for your starting 7. You can either pick one of the little pre-selected ones here, which they all work just fine, or you can do your own. I normally pick my own, but any one of these will work just fine. This one's you always want to have 2 miners and a woodcutter, and a mason, of course, and a crafts dwarf, fisher dwarf, farmer, cook, or you can, this one comes with a broker, a guy who does your trading for you, who is also your crafts dwarf, and 2 farmers, which I think is a bit excessive for your starting setup. I'm going to prepare carefully, which means I get to select everything. It's going to be a little bit, well, no, let's just go with this one right here. We'll go with this. I've never actually done this before, so I don't know what you start with. Yeah, there you go. It dumps you into the screen, which is what you would normally get. This guy's got proficient miner. This one's a miner, also a little bit of weaponsmith and armorsmith. And you got this guy who's a woodcutter and a carpenter. You have this guy who's a mason, an engraver, a building designer, and a mechanic. And I don't know that he has any other skills down here. You can see there's a lot of skills to look through. This one's our crafter. He's got stone, bone, and gem cutting. And you got this guy who's our fisherman / brewer. And then you got your cook. Well, what I'm going to do here is they've all got all their skills used up. They have. If I were to go over here and take a point away from the building designer, oops, use plus and minus for that, not arrow keys. You can see that he gained 1 point over there that you can put into something else. I'm going to put it back in. You can also see down at the bottom that I have 55 points left. What you can do is tab over to the items. You can see I've got 2 copper picks, 20 of each type of drink here, 50 plump helmets. It sounds dirty, but they're mushrooms. Calm down. Some cow meat, some coke, which is coal, basically, some more coal, and a copper battle axe. You can go over here and you can add. Yeah, we've also got 3 war dogs, male and female, and 3 cats, which I'm going to get rid of because I do not want cats in my fort because they breed like crazy. What I am going to do is add a new item, which is seeds. I'm going to add some mushroom seeds here. Add 10 of those. We're going to add some cave wheat. You always use plus and minus to add or subtract from this. And then we're going to add, how much do I have? 68. We are going to add you can only add what your civilization that you're starting from has access to, so you might not always have access to everything you want. Escape out of that. We're going to go with just some regular dogs. Dogs are really good to have in the beginning because they will basically they'll protect you from enemies that might come in here. You know what we don't have, and I just realized it, is an anvil, which is nice to have. So I'm going to get rid of those dogs, actually. Get ourselves an anvil. And I cannot remember for the life of me where that is in here. Keep scrolling down. Tools? No. You're probably going to hear my dog bark in the background because there's a dog barking in the neighborhood. Oh, god damn it, where is it? This is the problem with this game, is sometimes you can't remember everything where it is. You know, I bet that's why we had points left over, is because they are... I don't think our civilization actually has access to iron. No, it does. Why don't we... God dang it. Well, here's what we're going to do. No, we can't do that. This is embarrassing that I can't remember which category it's under. Must be in tools. Let's see here. I guess not. I forgot you could type things in. Apparently we don't have anvils. That's bizarre. I'm not sure what's going on there. Well, that's okay. What we'll do is we'll grab some iron bars. Well, we'll grab a iron bar. And we'll hopefully be able to get one from a caravan at some point. This could be an interesting embark, now that I think of it. Let's get some more seeds, because we're going to need that if we're not going to have an anvil. Don't ask me why I think that. Okay. At this point, you hit E for embark. And it will basically load everything up into the wagon. Here you go. Here's your little starting story. You've arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into a forbidding wilderness beyond your harsh trek. That doesn't make sense. Oh, into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Not having punctuation is a pain in this screen. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all, and don't ask me to pronounce that. Diebschreg? Something like that? There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or by hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you. But it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the wolves get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Don't ask me to pronounce it dwarven, but it's called Key Hail, Strike the Earth. And then you just hit enter and meet your dwarves. First thing you want to do, hit tab twice. Gives you a little more space. And then you can use the arrow keys. Just kind of look around your area. This is nice and flat. A little bit of stuff sticking out there. It's actually flatter than I was hoping. I like to have a little wall to dig into to start my fortress. I guess we'll end up digging straight down. I'm gonna now I lost where I went. There I am. You can see all our stuff gathered right around the wagon here. I'm gonna stop the video now, otherwise this will get huge to try and process and upload. I will be doing another video where we actually start playing the game. Alright.